in the tunnel signing autographs. Come on, man. You know he will be. Programs.
Probably.
Tim Tebow. All right, let's go to this other thing. I like this topic. Can an NFL player be cut if he's not vaccinated? One GM says yes. Heck, he'll just find another player. What do you guys think about that?
Well, I think if you're going to play in the league and all this money's riding on it, you got to get vaccinated. Cut the crap. Let's grow up and be, Americans, please. Grow a pair. Let's get on with this thing and do what needs to be done scientifically to stop this. It's not a political issue for me. It's a medical issue. And so there you are. That's my thought. If you don't want to be vaccinated, fine. Go play someplace else. Go play in the CFL, whatever.
Yeah, J-Boy was talking about being the GM for the Bills. Yep. He essentially was referencing in an interview that if it came down to usually the bottom of the roster guys where they're comparable, he's going to go with the person who was vaccinated. Now, to be fair, the NFL did make him walk it back and said you can't do that. But that being said, at the bottom of the roster, if they decide to cut people, it's going to be hard for him to be like, well, he clearly cut him because we know he's not vaccinated and this person is. It's going to be hard for them to weed through and find that out. I think the really thing that's concerning I think the article I read was mainly about Buffalo Bills is Cole Beasley, the wide receiver. He cited that he was hesitant to take the vaccine on Twitter. And Josh Allen was interviewed by Kyle Brand. It said he thinks everyone should have a choice to get it or not. Again, kind of talking like you all did. They had games, the Buffalo Bills, they had games that were delayed last year because of COVID.
Right.
There are 18 games rescheduled last year.
Yeah, they played a couple Tuesday games, didn't they? At least one, I remember for sure.
Yeah. The Bills, last year, Bills tight end, Tommy Sweeney, he developed the myocarditis that we talked about, that affects the heart. Usually it comes after someone has a COVID, and he was placed on the reserve COVID list. And then just the last thing is, science from the CDC shows that, Pfizer and Moderna are 90% effective 2 weeks after a second dose. So it's just, I don't get, and look, I even can understand people that work in offices or even can work remotely. I can understand that. You're talking about a game where everyone's on top of each other. Right. So it's you can't be we can keep our distance. It's not possible.
I won't spit on you, I promise.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just very frustrating that it feels like there are so many people that are playing the league that are still that hesitant. I don't know.
Especially when statistically there have been so few side effects, so very few. It just baffles me why people don't want to protect themselves. I just don't get it. But if I were the NFL, and I know it gets into this whole thing of can an employer tell an employee how to take care of their health. I realize that, right. But still, when you got the kind of dollars riding on this thing that they do, and it's not like you can sub in some guy over here. You can.
There's no temp agency for that?
The level of play goes way down and all of that. So,
right. It's the first year that the league has been extended. And also this past offseason is when, obviously, I don't know if the new contracts have kicked into effect in terms of TV deals, but they signed new TV deals. So obviously, they got the money. Now they're under the pressure to perform under the contracts that they just signed. So
speaking of that new CBA, under the new plan, there's a new number rule. Running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends are allowed to wear number 1 through 49 and 80 through 89. Defensive backs are allowed to wear 1 through 49, and linebackers have the option to wear 1 through 59 and 90 through 99. Several players say, heck yeah, I'm switching my number. Guys, this is not the no-fun league we know. This is kind of cool. What do you make of these? Can you see a defensive back, a linebacker wearing number 2? Come on, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's not traditional, but...
Yeah. It's one of those things. Can I put my advertisement on the back of my jersey? Like
maybe it's a setup. Maybe
crazy.com or whatever I want to put back there instead of my name. I mean,
you're talking about XFL?
Yeah.
Crazy Al's Emporium. He hate me. Remember that guy, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's the next step, but this is like college number schemes almost.
Yeah, the only one off the top of my head I know it was ETN. He wanted, I think, number 44. Unfortunately for him, that was already taken by Miles Jack, the linebacker for the Jags. But he got the number 1, which I didn't know until I read the article. I didn't know how important the number 1 was to the University of Florida, at least under Urban Meyer. Like that usually indicated who I guess their best athlete was.
Wow,
or
that's
one of
a
their
lot.
best players. So like it's supposedly an honor to be a 1. But again, and I know it's practice, so I'm going to give Urban Meyer a break. Like Travis Etienne's playing wide receiver. You draft him. They were on record that they wanted Kadarius Toney, and obviously he had Percy Harvin, and it's just like Travis Etienne, you're the greatest statistically running back. Well, I'm going to put you at wide receiver. It's like this is what this man's doing. So I don't know.
Well, wait a minute. What number did Tebow wear at Florida? He didn't wear number 1. What's going on there, man? He wore like 15, didn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, to be fair, Percy Harvin has a very strong personality, so Tebow maybe didn't want to press it, and then I think maybe that was a factor. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. All right.
Before we get away from the NFL here, I just want to say Dan Campbell had some of my favorite quotes of this week. He wants to have a real lion on the sidelines for their games. He also, now I don't know how serious he was about this, but he also wants to have taxidermied sheep in front of the stadium and force the players not to look at them because lions don't need to worry about sheep or whatever. I found that fascinating, kind of crazy.
Well, I thought you were going to go biblical on us there for a minute. I don't get that. Lions are not afraid of sheep?
Yeah.
And so you shouldn't look one in the eyes?
Right. The rest of the league is just sheep or whatever. I'm not sure. It's a little beyond my comprehension.
He's going to be our soundbite guy this year. We're going to have to sample some of that this year, I think.
Is he referencing that Disney cartoon where the lion is taken in as a cub by sheep?
Right.
And he protects them from the big bad wolf.
Sure. I don't know, man.
You can show that to him before
crazy stuff.
I don't know. Yeah.
Hey, let's just talk briefly about the spring football. In a game that went to the final horn, Sam Houston State won its first FCS championship, formerly 1AA, beating South Dakota State 23-21. A game full of big plays and excitement. T-Dog, you think you saw some players who deserve a shot to play on Sundays? What did you think of that, guys?
Yeah, the one wide receiver for Sam Houston who had the one kick return taken back, and I believe he scored 2 touchdowns. You watch him, and they were even talking him up during the game, like height and weight-wise, he's very similar to Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, tiny.
And you see just how explosive he is. So it's like, all right. It's like all right, yeah.
It was some good-looking football, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shall we do a little sports of yesteryear?
And here it comes. Yes, it's sports of yesteryear. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow, all wrapped up into one year. Sports of yesteryear. Here's our man, Lugs. He's out there somewhere now.
All right. In 1875, you had your first Kentucky Derby. Oliver Lewis won aboard Aristides in about 2 minutes and 38 seconds. Bob Baffert was disqualified on that whole issue there, too. He was giving them clay. So, anyway, 1915, Cubs.
Oh, wait a minute.
Zip Zabel relieves with 2 outs in the first and winds up pitching 19 innings for the longest relief job ever to win over the Brooklyn team. 1939, first televised baseball game, broadcast on NBC. Princeton defeated Columbia 2-1. And a little more baseball. 1992, Expos Gary Carter is the third catcher to catch 2,000 games. So, and also I want to say the pitcher for Atlanta, Noah, who is like a strikeout king, got so mad that he let 4 runs come in that he punched the bench and broke his hand. So
nice guy. Smart guy there.
So that's sports of yesteryear.
That's sports of yesteryear. So that Cubs game, 19 innings. Wow, these guys can't even start and pitch 5 innings today. What's going on? Well, that's why it's called yesteryear. We'll see what happens next time. All right, guys, good job on that. Lugs.
Yo.
What else?
Denver Broncos hired, I think her name is Klein. I just noted that she becomes head of football operations. So maybe they'll finally get themselves a quarterback, seeing as how, our guy Elway has really struck out every time.
Yeah, I guess the thing I was going to contribute that I know Lugs will enjoy is on Colin Cowherd, Justin Jefferson was interviewed, and Colin Cowherd asked him who he likes throwing to him better, because obviously he played with Joe Burrow and he played with Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins, who got him to be an All-Pro as a rookie, he's like they both have about the same throwing strength, but he's like Joe Burrow has more of a swagger, and he also said that he's willing to take a hit. And then he's like, well, what do you think of the story about the Bears jumping the Vikings for Fields? He's like, yeah, having Fields would have been nice. That would have really prepared us for the future.
Wow.
I will give this plug. What is J-Boy and I see in Kirk Cousins that I guess even his own wide receiver doesn't see?
His own guy.
I've always said he's a bridesmaid, not a bride.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, he's going to get his money no matter what.
He's made it.
So you're Jefferson.
Yeah.
How do you go back into camp now
Yeah.
and look at Kirk Cousins?
I think you're like, hey, you had a great year too because of me. Like, we still are gonna work. Like the thing, like, to be fair to Jefferson, he didn't kill Kirk Cousins. And like, this is what we want. And like people being interviewed, I think he was just being honest. Like, I thought it was pretty refreshing. But like, hopefully, I guess I'm at fault too for bringing it up. Like, killing him now, he'll say just boring stuff. He'll be like Russell Wilson doing interviews where it's just like like a robot.
This in from our crack research department. The Denver Broncos have indeed hired former Viking scouting executive Kelly Klein as executive director of football operations and special advisor to the general manager, makes Klein the highest ranking woman in the NFL. Way to go. All right, we got that figured out. Good for them.
Tonight, IU men's soccer team play Marshall for the NCAA championship. So good luck to them.
All right, this has been Sports and Other Stuff. You missed another episode by just listening to us, I think. Sponsored by First National Bank. Come as you are. Bank from your car at First National's convenient touchless drive-through window. Home of the time and temperature line. You just call and you hear the voice of this guy.
Fish, and he will tell you about everything. It's sort of like our friend here at Sport Weasel Central, Reed Yaden, the captain. He's going to be coming on now. Come on.
We are the Sport Weasels. First in sound, first in service, and first in other stuff. So long until next time. Bye-bye.